take your finger out of my face.
You get yours out. I was here first.
It's Jerry versus Julia in a war of words over which words comedians can use these days. In April, Jerry Seinfeld made headlines suggesting to The New Yorker that the left and political correctness are destroying TV comedy.
This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people.
Jerry later doubled down on his remarks in an interview with Page Six, saying, "Political correctness is something of a worry for people that can't think." In June, his former sitcom co-star Julia Louis-Dreyfus begged to differ in an interview with the New York Times.
Get out!
When asked about Jerry's complaints about PC crap, the Veep star said, "I think to have an antenna about sensitivities is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that all comedy goes out the window as a result."
I'm getting a thing from Jerry saying, wrap it up.
Julia didn't call Jerry out by name, but called out comments like his, saying, "When I hear people starting to complain about political correctness, and I understand why people might push back on it, to me that's a red flag, because it sometimes means something else. I believe being aware of certain sensitivities is not a bad thing." Later in the interview, Julia clarified her statement, adding, "Political correctness, insofar as it equates to tolerance, is obviously fantastic, and of course, I reserve the right to boo anyone who says anything that offends me, while also respecting their right to free speech. So if PC crap isn't a threat to comedy, what is?"
Wait a minute, I know what's going on here!
Julia says to follow the money, telling The Times, "The bigger problem, and I think the true threat to art and the creation of art, is the consolidation of money and power. All this siloing of studios and outlets and streamers and distributors, I don't think it's good for the creative voice." On that point, Julia and Jerry appear to agree. Jerry told The New Yorker, "Disorientation replaced the movie business. Everyone I know in show business every day is going, 'What's going on? How do you do this? What are we supposed to do now?'" Julia's newest project is A24's fantasy drama Tuesday, while Jerry's pet Pop-Tarts project Unfrosted is currently streaming on Netflix.
I believe we have split the atom of breakfast.
Both Jerry and Julia are registered Democrats, so they're not that politically incompatible. But Jerry's anti-PC comments were boosted by prominent conservatives online. Fox News host Sean Hannity and Elon Musk both shared the clip, with Musk commenting, "Make comedy legal again." Debates over political correctness have been raging for decades, kicking off in the 90s when the sitcom Seinfeld was all the rage.
It's a whole new ballgame on campus these days, and they call it PC.
But Julia told The Times that the culture has shifted very much for the good in that time, saying, "Even classically wonderful, indisputably great films from the past are riddled with attitudes that today would not be acceptable, so I think it's just good to be vigilant."